which is basically like cloud telephony, different ways of obviously communicating with your customers as well, like through messaging, voice, emails, and all that kind of stuff.
Because it's how we talk about it, sort of omnichannel. It's bringing different methods of communications together and delivering that as a service rather than as a sort of a traditional on-premise piece of equipment. So again, we also talk about the cloud, which is essentially some data centers scattered across Europe. And it's delivering things as a service rather than as a physical commodity.
Yeah.
I think that is a reasonable.
Yeah, definitely. And the market has changed so much over the last kind of 5 to 10 years. Gone is kind of like the traditional way where you speak to someone on the phone. You now speak to someone. A lot of people speak by email. A lot of people speak by web chat as well. You've got certain integrations, sort of like WhatsApp, Instagram, Twitter, different forms of communication. Because to be completely honest, some people quite like just being behind the computer screen, not wanting to speak to people.
I think we've chatted about this. I think it's a generational thing. Again, something we laugh a lot with Manny and kind of we were talking yesterday randomly about the price of petrol. And Manny's actually this now, but Manny's like young guys. I remember it was 69p a litre. He just thought, bloody hell. It's that the newer generations, and I always talk about the sort of Generation Z and millennials, and there's a demand now for software as a service. We sign up to subscription-based services, Amazon. We're not expected to tie into 12-month contracts for it. We want that flexibility. And we also want that ability to communicate on many, many different levels, which again is part of what the Gamma product portfolio provides us.
Yeah. And you guys are kind of in a unique position being partnered with Gamma, because in Gamma's portfolio, we've got obviously a lot of connectivity options in terms of broadband and Ethernet. We've got a range of telephony solutions that range from single users all the way up to enterprise solutions as well. So if you've got those little one-man bands, the builders, your fish and chip shops that might want to have a VoIP solution in place, something we can provide. But if they wanted something a little bit more bespoke, they've also got obviously the option for contact center solutions as well. As well as that, we also provide mobile data SIMs as part of that portfolio as well.
Yeah, I think touching on contact center, it's important to note that the contact center solution isn't necessarily for a contact center, is it? So it's a solution which is based around unified communications, but also efficiency in terms of call routing and that kind of thing. So something that I touched on earlier in terms of getting the best ROI out of your telephony products and out of your teams. That's where that contact solution would kind of come in as that kind of
100%. It's like you're saying, you don't need to be a fully blown 50, 100 person contact center. It could literally be someone that might sit on the reception desk that handles a lot of inbound calls. The doctor's surgery is a great example of this. So you think about 8 o'clock in the morning, you're trying to get yourself a GP appointment. For some GP surgeries, they've still got a legacy PBX sitting on site. So what do? You ring in 45 times to try and get through until there's a SIP trunk available. But luckily for us and for the rest of the country, there's been what's going to be a £230 million investment into the change in telephony for the healthcare sector.
become a standard now, haven't
It has, yeah.
I rang the dentist yesterday. 9:30. You are queue position 8. 45 minutes I was on hold.
Did you not get a callback slot?
No, I didn't.
they need a new contact solution.
Yeah.
Just done it.
That's what I
Go in the cellar to them, Paul.
was sat in the dentist chair. To be fair, they got me in the same day, which I'm quite pleased with.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Good service. Terrible telephone systems.
Yeah, good service, yeah. Root canal coming up soon.
It's just explaining the benefits as to what this contact center can provide to the business. It could be just increasing productivity. In a way, it's what about the point of never missing a call, having those callback slots, having the opportunity when you are in a queue and someone does leave the queue, once they get to the front of the queue, it's automatically return their call as well. Having like I said, scripting for new employees as well. So there's lots of different features that can benefit the business. And like you said, they didn't need to be a contact center.
Yeah, so anyone who takes a phone call, anyone who takes phone calls, it can be a contact center.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
It doesn't need to be that traditional.
You could have it for one person on the contact center, 4 users in the back office as well.
Taxi company, yeah.
Exactly. And you've got some businesses as well that don't even know how many calls they're actually making, receiving, how long the wait time is as well. It's a vital part to some businesses to be able to obviously improve that customer service.
It's sometimes blind ignorance.
Yeah.
You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah. And again, I think that negative connotation we talk about within the telecom industry, and certainly the words contact center or call center, and immediately it's a big negative. It doesn't need to be seen like that. It's actually about providing a first-class level of service and giving UK businesses the tools in order to do that, essentially.
It's about just improving the customer experience, the customer making it as slick, easy as possible for the customer to be able to get hold of you. If they can't get through by call, the number like 45 in the queue, okay, we'll pop on web chat. You know, if they can't get through on web chat, 2 hours, pop an email, WhatsApp message, all that kind of stuff. So, like I said, the way the technology has advanced over the last 5-10 years is absolutely fantastic.
Phenomenal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant.
So it's almost for us at Red Rock, our customer isn't the customer, it's their customer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if it's a taxi business, that customer isn't the taxi business, it's their customers.
Yeah.
Because if communication systems fail, they're not getting any calls, so they're just going to get rid of us. So it's about making their business better for their customers, but not the business themselves.
For those customers that like to still have the traditional kind of PBXs on site, like what happens to their telephony once it does go down? If they got like a backup option, like how do the calls routes, like how much money are they actually losing by their telephony being down for the day? If you can put a monetary value on that and sell them into obviously a different solution, you'd obviously bite your hand off at that, because for a taxi company they might make, I don't know, 20,000-30,000 pound a day. You know, losing that amount of revenue. Yeah, obviously you've got the bills, the rent, they've got to pay taxi drivers as well, cars. So yeah,
it's seeing the big picture, isn't it?
Definitely.
So can you give us I kind of touched on it a little, but just a bit of a brief background on our relationship with Gamma and Red Rock, and how you kind of facilitate that, and what role you play in providing us support and account management, essentially.
Yeah. Well, I've only been a small part of the Red Rock's journey.
Come on.
Like I said, I've obviously been the account manager for Red Rock for about 18 months. I think you guys have been account partner for 5 years?
5 years in June.
5 years? Yeah.
It's in a gold.
Yeah, where are you getting us?
Some sort of gold watch.
Well, if he's not taking you off lunch, I'll take you off for lunch. So yeah, better than a fiver. Sort out for a tenner, mate.
Sold.
But I think, so correct me if I'm wrong, you guys are obviously on board. It's obviously predominantly sell connectivity and telephony. And for you guys as an account, you guys have been steadily growing without having kind of like a core sales and marketing team. And as Paul was saying, you guys have aspirations by hopefully January 2026, I think it is, to be a Gamma Gold partner.
Yep.
And what that is for the viewers at home, it's a certain level of partnership that we give to select resellers for rewarding them for like the business that they brought to us, reach a certain level of spend as well. In terms of my role in the day-to-day role in helping Red Rock, I support kind of like another arm to the business as well. I kind of think to myself as kind of the 11th or 12th employee in a way. I'm there to be able to contact with just general pricing queries and help to their support with day-to-day opportunities. So if for whatever reason the customer does need a demo for their a telephony solution, we've got sales specialists that are obviously on hand to be able to support with that. I don't just deal with obviously the pricing side, I deal with kind of like escalations, helping out with the ops team as well. Obviously providing training on obviously certain telephony products. I like to think I'd do a little bit of marketing, but maybe not so much. I said probably show you around our marketing portal. I think that's about as far as it goes. But and I think what I also continue doing is trying to make sure that I keep you updated of what's new,
What's changing, especially industry.
what's changing within the industry, what's coming to Gamma as well, because within Gamma over the last 3 years, we brought out a whole range of different products, because it used to be that we just had 2 telephony products. That was it. We didn't have a product that suited the enterprise sector, that didn't suit the micro market as well. And it's just keeping you guys updated on this. And we obviously have industry knowledge about where the market is going. We see there's going to be a big push for Microsoft Teams, with obviously the dreaded word that was COVID. And just obviously keep supporting you on a day-to-day, and obviously helping you guys where you need to grow as much as possible.
Cool. Which I think leads nicely into some of the challenges that we all face within the telecoms industry. And I think the biggest one we have coming up in 2025 is the big switch off. So that's kind of fast approaching, something which all UK businesses really need to be aware of. Would you be happy to give us a quick overview of the big switch off and how that might impact UK businesses, what Gamma are doing, what Red Rock are doing, and how we can sort of help facilitate people going forward?
Yeah, absolutely. So the big switch off, I mean, I like to call it the digital switch on, but we'll go with the big switch off. It's basically discontinuing the analog lines that have been in place for a number of years. It's getting rid of the old copper infrastructure and replacing it with kind of like full fibre.
This isn't something that's been heavily advertised. You know, I see the odd scare article, in the paper. But other than that, it's kind of
it's still an unknown for a lot of businesses, like just in general. Like if you go back to the old like teletext scenario when people were moving up from analog,
Manny won't remember.
I barely remember it.
I remember checking football scores on teletext. And booking holidays. So
I remember
the holidays used to be really good on teletext for some reason in terms of pricing. I think it was better than the travel agent.
There was a quiz as well, wasn't there? For the life of me, I'm desperate to check your WhatsApp, because I know somebody posted it on there, I think last week.
Teletext.
I can't remember the name of it. But infuriating.
With the teletext, it was advertised all over the TV, from analog to digital, whereas there's nothing like that. Like there's no advertisement, there's nothing in the newspapers at all. The only way that we're kind of like spreading the word is obviously through resellers such as yourself.
Things like this.
Yeah, exactly. Like spreading the word. It's like people won't know about it until obviously it comes to that they have to move over. So there's a BC have got a switch off date of the 31st December 2025, but there's been kind of a national stop sell in September 2023. And what that actually means is that businesses can no longer sell analog line. They've only got to sell like a VoIP solution, but it's happening pretty fast already. So a couple of examples are Salisbury and Mildenhall, where they were the first 2 cities, I think they are, or towns, whatever, who have moved over to kind of full fibre. So they are no longer have kind of the copper infrastructure in place. They no longer have analog lines. Everything's kind of like VoIP based now, but BC have got a massive job on their hands to be able to move people over to obviously the likes of Sagia, which is obviously the stopgap solution with the rollout of full fibre, and onto a VoIP solution as well, because it's not just in the business space where people got to move over, it's in the consumer space as well. Trying to explain to, say, like a 93-year-old who's obviously just got a phone line who wants to ring his son's daughter's grandparents, obviously on a weekend, trying to explain, why they have to move over to a VoIP solution. And you can't just cut off their phone line either, because they need it for, say, emergency services as well. So like I said, there's a big education piece that's coming directly from the resellers, unfortunately. But like I said, it's hopefully it's gained for you guys.
Yeah, because I go out networking and it's that inertia. You speak to people, and even if they know it's happening, which a lot don't, it's trying to get over that. It's coming. People are just going, oh, no, yeah, I'll sort it next year. I'll sort it next month. I'll do that.
People are a bit too relaxed about it. They think, it's 2025, I can sort it out next year.
Yeah, I think the problem we're seeing as a reseller already is we're starting to see not delays quite yet, but this certainly looks like a bit of a backlog. And I can only envisage that getting worse as the time gets closer. So I would sort of encourage anybody to, you know, be it with your current provider, with Red Rock, reach out to people, speak to people, understand what you've got, what you need to do, and get that underway as soon as possible. It's that process.
It's better to get it sorted now than when there's kind of like a 6-month rush.
Yeah. And I think it's also massively important to understand that this shouldn't be seen as a negative.
No,
absolutely no. Massive positive. I've got fibre to the premise installed at home, and it's 120 down, 15 up, and it's phenomenal. And I can up that to 1.2 gig at the flick of a switch.
Yeah.
Again, referring back to Manny, probably because of that age thing, and I look back 20 years, and you'll remember when we were on 28k dial-up mode. I served dial-up 50. Then he's laughing now. He's like, God, I don't remember
any a minute.
Sorry, what are you guys on about?
Then we moved to 56k. This is a big step. Then we moved to ISDN, which was 64k. I remember we had 2 ISDNs in our old office in Diggle watching UFC, streaming it over 264k. And it was like,
innovative.
And then we got, and they pushed the technology. They got 1.2 meg with the little green rod.
I think it's interesting though as well, because as a country in the UK, we're quite behind from an infrastructure point of view, aren't we?
Yeah.
I mean, have any other countries still got analog lines, or have they already gone through this process?
No, there's actually countries that are further behind than us, but there are countries that are so much further ahead than us. So to give you an example, Spain, Latvia, Portugal and Romania, 90% of the country has full fibre available. Yeah. Whereas in the UK, say around 52% have it available as well, probably a little bit less.
Yeah.
But like, you've still got the issue of people that are still on ADSL connected where they can't get Sojia availability. I mean, you think there's people that are obviously in those rural locations trying to get them full fibre. Is it going to happen? Obviously, are they going to get Sojia available in the next 18 months? We don't know. How long is the ADSL going to continue to go? It's a lot of unknown, unfortunately.
Yeah, but that's a lot of infrastructure work as well. People need to realise it's a hell of a lot of infrastructure.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I don't think OpenReach have been great on the marketing side.
No.
I think OpenReach have just gone.
Well, what they're doing is...
leave it to the likes of Red or get to sort it out.
Well, what they're doing is... for customers that are out of contract that are with BT, they're just renewing them on like a new VoIP solution. But obviously for the consumer that doesn't know about the switch off, or it's like, oh yeah, okay, just a new phone and an internet. It's just that
OpenReach win either way, don't they? Because you have to do it.
And it's where the likes of the altnets are starting to obviously come in now, because obviously BT and OpenReach obviously had a big job. So you got all the altnets that are coming in for certain areas, trying to provide that better connectivity, clean up obviously where OpenReach can't.
Yeah, when you mention altnets, they're completely independent of the OpenReach network.
Exactly that.
So essentially the OpenReach network is sort of the traditional network, which was just originally installed by BT, but they had to open that up to other wholesale providers. Could have been 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But still using their infrastructure, whereas an altnet actually has physically gone out and put their own brand new infrastructure into certain areas.
Virgin would be the big one, wouldn't it?
Virgin, 100%. And then there's obviously various different other ones, like locally as well, that are obviously benefiting from this.
Yeah, kind of just going back to the big switch off, or the digital switch on, is too much to push it, but just thinking about kind of things that have happened before in the past. And, I mean, this is obviously a very, very positive thing in terms of, moving forward and better in terms of technology. But when you think about, as a business, all the changes that happened with Brexit, right? And how people delayed making those changes in terms of ports and stuff like that, and all the issues that came with it, and all the businesses that ended up at risk and stuff like that. If a lot of businesses could have planned a lot of those problems ahead of time and got all the processes and everything ready and had plenty of notice to know about it, and still did, and the problems that it caused was massive. So if you're one of those businesses and you've been through that process and you've been through that pain already, then think about this and look at the switch off and make changes before it becomes too late, because you don't want to get yourself into a process where there is a backlog and it's a problem and you can't get things fixed quickly. Because we've seen it happen before with other regulation changes, so let's just not let it happen again.
The thing is, the new technologies are better, they're usually cheaper, they're more reliable.
Yeah.
There isn't an argument just to sit on the old. It's counterproductive.
It's not just that, as kind of we alluded to before, 28K, 56K, 60K, 1.2, 80 meg. As a society, we are consumers.
Yeah.
Whether that's physical or digital. And the digital space now, we're just consuming more and more data.
Yeah.
So by moving to the new technologies and having that ability to flex, you as a business, as you will consume more data.
Yeah.
That's a fact. We look at video streaming.
Yeah.
720 to 4K. That's all consuming data. So getting yourself in a position as soon as possible where you can benefit from that is absolutely massive.
Completely agree with you.
So I think I've touched on it there, kind of the impact it has on UK businesses. And again, I think it's that ability to flex and go from, if you think how the copper technology went from them 28K speeds all the way up to 80 meg.
Yeah.
The technological advancements with fibre has only just begun. 100%. We're going to see that. I mean, I read an article a few days ago talking of pushing it up to 1.5 gig, pushing it up to 2 gig. As a society, we're always pushing boundaries.
Yeah.
What we'll find is we'll be able to get a hell of a lot more out of that fibre network in the coming years.
100%.
Just going back a bit, you read an article?
Yeah. It popped up on my phone.
So it wasn't by choice then.
They have lots of pictures.
Again, the comic books out next.
So I think, again, we've fully touched on this, but some of the misconceptions about the big switch off that people might have, and any input you've got on that?
I think some people just think that it's just not going to happen.
I'll be honest, Tim, I was guilty of that probably 18 months ago.
Yeah.
Until you came in and you said, oh, Salisbury, yeah, we've put them on a stop sell. And I was like, yeah, it is happening.
Yeah.
That's a
Like, people think with obviously BT being the monopoly, it says, how are they going to move every single person, every single business within the UK over to a VoIP solution and then over to full fibre, like I said, within the next 5 years? So people think, oh, it might get delayed, or get delayed even further because there's certain like barriers and things happening. Because you've got to think that within some industries, the technology that is in place at the moment, there isn't actually a replacement for that. So you think of lift lines, alarm lines, CCTV, fax machines as well. Like,
People still use them.
well,
I was at a solicitor's.
my dad still uses one.
Yeah.
So, like I said, sorry to go on the topic, but my dad, he's still got like an analog line in place. I was talking to him about the digital switch off, and we've got like a deck solution. So he used to walk around with the phones, and he was sick of, when the phone was ringing, he was sick of not being able to find the phone. So what he did is bought a fax machine, and he just put it on his desk, and now no one can walk away with it.
like the headsets where you can walk out. Yeah, no fact shame here.
He still receives a fax every now and again, but yeah, with the consumers, it's like, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
So those people are thinking, but it's just trying to educate them as to why moving over to this new and more advanced telephony is better for their business and the benefits of it.
But it happened with television, didn't it? Went from analog to completely digital and stuff.
Yeah.
So it happened in other areas. It's going to happen.
But then people see the benefits. We put it on our whiteboard in our office. Seeing is believing.
Yeah.
And it's that thing. As soon as you see it, it's like 4K. You go, oh, wow. Wish I'd done this 2 years ago. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just trying to get that message through, which is where obviously the marketing comes in, because it's the most difficult thing, just trying to get that message through.
And the only thing you guys continue to just keep hammering the door of those like customers and just like, a lot of it sometimes is driven by cost. Like where is the cost saving for me? Like what's the benefit for me? But obviously, if it is a little bit more expensive, well, how can these features of this telephony benefit your business and why and improve your productivity?
I think it's important to kind of understand, like, how do we get people to identify for themselves that they're on one of these old systems, and what should they do?
Yeah. I think you have to start with most people don't care.
Yeah, no, not in weed. It's like we tell them, we go, oh, you know, this is happening now, and this is really important. You should know. And it's like, okay, well, that's well and good, Jason, but how do I identify that I'm going to have that? You know, it is really. And then at that point, no one needs to turn around and go, well, this is how you identify it. And then they go, oh, okay, well, I'm going to have that problem. Do I want to fix it now, or do I want to fix it in 12 months' time, or any time in between then? And then it's just about, you know, when it is that they do reach out or they go through that process. But
try to make it as easy as possible.
Yeah, it's just the education, isn't it? And it's simple.
It is education, massive in telecoms because there isn't much.
And the customer wants to make sure they have no downtime. It's an easy transition for them. It's just like they kind of want a like-for-like replacement. Anyway, they want a lot of businesses. They just want the phone to ring as well, and they want their connectivity. So as long as you can solve that problem, then obviously you guys want to win.
Yeah, we can make it as seamless as possible with sort of no interruption to service.
100%.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things where I think it's whenever I speak to someone about a lack of interruption to service, you don't really get things that are as important as some of the Mind charities that we've worked with. And, you know, these guys have telephone lines, which people, speaking of mental health awareness week, considering, you know, it's coming up, people that are suffering from, that are thinking about suicide and that need people to reach out to and stuff like that, they can't turn their phone lines off, because if people don't ring those phones, then they can't be helped.
Yeah.
And it's like we've moved people over onto more modern phone systems that are inside this space, which without downtime and going through this process. And it's important to kind of, whenever I explain to someone, like, if we can do that for someone to that degree who needs it, who it's so important to them, like if your business operates and requires phone calls to come in and you can't have downtime, we can do that because we've done it. We've done it before many times. And for them, it is a matter of life and death, literally. So, excellent.
So just to kind of conclude, Tim, what exciting things have you and Gamma got coming up for 2024 that you might want to fill us in on?
Well, there's a couple of exciting things that have happened already. So we recently acquired a company called EnableX, which is split into 3 different segments. So it's Pragma, Techland, and Candio. Pragma, they have kind of their own hosted platform, which is the IPEX platform, which is powered by Ericsson LG, which is obviously a name we all know very well within the industry. You got Techland, which is to do with ribbon SBCs. And you've got Candio, which they have a product called SafeWeb, which is a dark web monitoring tool that allows businesses to see what information of theirs is on the dark web, how to get it removed, and obviously, just how to get it removed, really. Because obviously, the dark web is a mystery and it can be quite scary knowing that your businesses, like you've got your names of your employees on there, the business address, credit card details as well. It's being sold to like different people. And so that's obviously something exciting that's happened already. We're forming new partnerships with Cisco as well. So we'll be selling Cisco wholesale, and then there's going to be a kind of a new collaboration solution to our hosted platform as well. We've recently just made another acquisition of a company called Coolwave that allows us to that allows kind of like PSTN calls kind of in different countries as well. And we just want to kind of like continue to grow, kind of push the digital switch off as well. And like I said, we want to make sure we want to get people onto those next gen and newer technologies, because like I said, the way that BTO from each our price is going to continue to increase, obviously, on the obviously legacy technologies. There's some very, very exciting things that are happening. It's good that you guys are obviously partners with us for all these new exciting things that are coming. And like I said, looking forward to you guys working with you guys for 2024 and beyond.
Excellent. Appreciate that, Tim. Thank you very much.
No worries.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Paul.
No worries.
Thank you, Jason. Appreciate it, chaps. And that's it for episode 5 of Wired for Success. Appreciate you all watching. Feel free to comment, subscribe, and click below. If you want to reach out, feel free to get in touch on 0161 470 6212, or drop us an email at sales@redrockcommunications.co.uk. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it.